And welcome, everybody. It's another Winning Wednesday edition here of the Heat Ratio Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Tony Cotillo at tcotillo23, joined by my co-host,
John Coker at PGH John 36.
And as always, joined by
Dave Dixon at Coach Dixon 365.
I love having three hosts on this show. It's a fantastic thing. And usually every week we go into a national day of the week. But this week, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to maybe start a little trend here, and every week we're going to look back at Billboard charts. Bring back maybe some childhood memories, maybe ad-lib a little bit. Like Coach Dave said, we might not even talk sports by the time we're all done looking at this list. But we're going to go back, okay, Billboard charts. And we all remember when they used to come out with those charts. Did you ever look at those charts every week? They had like the top 100, the top.
Well, I remember. You remember Casey Kasem?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
He would do it.
Well, and you know what I remember? I remember
Casey Kasem.
I remember the cassette tapes. They would have the cassette tapes, Billboard charts.
Oh yeah,
1987,
yes.
88.
You're
yes.
right. You are right.
That's what I remember about the Billboard charts.
And they always had a countdown, like you said, Casey Kasem. I think it was on Sundays, like the top 40 or something that you had, and then it went to the upper class, the Total Request Live with Carson Daly, or you know what I mean? But this one's 1995, right? So every year Billboard came out with it, their 1 year album had 10 tracks on it. Their top 10 album, the top 10 tracks of the year. This is 1995.
That's in my wheelhouse.
So real fast, we're gonna do it. This is gonna be fun because just so all the listeners out there, I can see these songs and I can see the artists. But Coach Dave and Mr. Coker over here have no idea. So I'm in a good spot right now. So I want to see how much their music trivia before we get into the Eagles talk and the football and the fantasy and Major League playoffs and people that don't understand how to read an article, and we're going to get into all that. But because I had enough with the fans this week, they're killing Jigsaw. But all right, so I'm going to go 10-1 here. We're going to go from bottom to top, and the top 10, the number 10 song.
Give us the artist, and let's see if we can pick the
song.
Oh,
are you sure about that? I don't think so.
No, I think you're better off giving us
we gotta
the
go
song
bro.
and try to figure out the artist.
I don't know half of these artists.
And then we got to do a thumbs up or thumbs down real quick.
I like that. So number 10, Cotton Eye Joe. Who sings Cotton Eye Joe?
No one knows who sings Cotton Eye Joe.
I thought I knew. I cheated. All right, that was the only one you mentioned. Rednecks.
You didn't know Rednecks.
No, I didn't. I cheated. I said I cheated.
No one knows who sings Cotton Eye Joe.
I'm going with a thumbs up.
We got to go thumbs up. We got to go thumbs up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's like the song with every grade school dance. And, you got to give a little thumbs up. All right,
to get you a little pumped up.
Now number 9, I have no idea what the song is. Somebody needs to help me out. Back for Good.
No idea.
Artist is Take That. I'm lost.
No,
I'm lost. So I'm going to give that an infamous thumb down because
if
I don't remember, we got a problem.
Exactly.
Now this one's a classic. Number 8, I'll Be There for You. Come on, you got to know who sings this. Come on, man! It's a Friends soundtrack, the Friends theme.
Oh,
come on!
You know what?
If I said Jennifer Aniston, everybody would jump up right now.
I was thinking of little Michael Jackson singing.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking when you said it.
Wow.
I don't know. That's what clicked.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forget who sings
I don't know who
that.
sings it.
The Rembrandts.
Yeah,
Rembrandts.
Rembrandts.
That's got to be a thumbs up.
Yeah, I like
That's gotta be
that.
a
Thumbs down.
Friends was a good
Never
show.
like Friends, but no, that was not. No.
Wow.
Yeah, I like Friends.
No good.
All right, how about you remind me of something at number 7?
Oh, that's a big thumbs up.
Who sings it?
R. Kelly.
Oh, the Golden Shower himself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's the
Start not early. There you go.
I'm just saying, man. He's got a little problem with the underage people. If you know what I mean.
That was.
I gotta love R. Kelly, man. Who remembers real fast the I can't remember the host. Somebody help me out. 104.5 Between the Sheets, like Sunday nights.
Albie Silk.
No. What, Tony Brown? Was it Tony Brown? You used to call up, and people used to call up and request songs that are,
Yeah.
Dude, I did it. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, you know what I mean? I requested a song, and it was always that song.
So you always requested the same song. He dated like 6 chicks. It always called up and requested the same song.
It was that I believe in you and me. Well, I don't even know who sings
Who
it.
sings
know.
that? Oh
That's
my
like the
goodness.
that's like the third to the last song of the night when
Dude,
you're
that was.
and
I
you're
don't
slow
know.
dancing.
Oh, yeah, I was a little kid, man. I was like heartbroken. What are you going to tell me? All right, number 6, Run Away. Come on, man.
Oh.
Run Away.
Yeah, don't start saying no. Is that? It's not Hadaway.
No, that's a good pull by you though. Hadaway. That's a really good pull. This is classic club music right here. Real McCoy.
Yeah,
Real McCoy. I'm gonna give
There
that
you
a thumbs
go.
up.
There you go.
That's
Yeah,
all
that's-
freestyle.
I'll go with it. I'll go
I
with
know
it.
that.
every
I
time.
know that song.
All right, we're halfway there. This is classic right here. Only want to be with you. I only want to be with you. Come on, man. Come on. I knew
You're singing through me completely.
Hootie,
off.
bro. Hootie and a blowfish.
Big thumbs down. I'm not a Hootie dude.
What?
No, I was never a
Hootie.
Hootie dude. Sorry.
Are you serious?
Nope.
That song was popular though.
Hold
Yes, it
my-
was very
hold
popular, and I
my
never
hand.
liked it. Never liked it.
All right. Well, all right. Number 4. I got 5 on it. Come on.
Oh,
Come
dude.
on. Who sings it?
Oh,
What is it?
I got 5 on it.
I don't know it.
What? Get out of here.
What is it? Who?
Loonies.
Who?
Loonies.
I have no idea
That's a
who that
90s,
is.
90s hip hop. Yo, you are embarrassing right now. How do you not know that?
I have to hear that.
That was one of the classic songs of all time.
you know what? There's
What's wrong with you? Oh, he needs.
so many stories that
Wow.
are not worthy of
That's all right.
being on the air. You know what I mean? But that song, the minute it comes on,
Yeah.
takes me back to this day and 50 million things that I was doing.
Philly Bluntville. You know what I'm saying? That's where it takes you back. I mean, come on. All right, number 3. I believe Blessed Union of Souls.
What the?
I believe. Like, love is the answer. I believe. Oh, man, you guys are music fans. Killing
Thumbs
me.
Can't
down.
believe this is the top.
Yeah, this is the top
Yes.
of 95. Number 2.
I remember Blessed Unit.
The Rhythm of the Night. The Rhythm of the Night.
Oh yeah, that was.
I'll give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Corona? That's who sung it, Corona.
Okay.
All right,
I want a double thumbs up.
I would have said La
Double
Bamba.
thumbs up
but
for the
I-
Corona.
number 1, I Know by Dion Farris. I don't even know that song.
Thumbs down.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I don't know.
I
That's
remember hearing the name Dion Ferris.
So
but I don't remember
I'm just
the
going to throw
song.
it out there. If you gave me, I could take 2 songs off that list. Honestly, if you remind me of something, and I got 5 on it, and the rest
Yep.
can just go away.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, yeah, the rest can just go
Completely
away.
agree.
Even though I got a little thing for Cotton Eye Joe, but you know, we're not going to get into that. But you know, talking about going away, I am thoroughly disappointed that we have to talk another Eagles loss on this show. Even though I don't think I was 100% all in going against the Vikings because this team just is everything's just falling apart. It seems, but I don't even know where to begin. I mean, help me out. What do you take from this game?
I mean, defense to me again broke down. How about Cox and Mills fighting amongst each other? I wasn't appreciative of seeing that.
I actually was.
Oh, I was too.
I was. He deserved it. Mills deserved it.
100% I would. Oh,
I don't
that
like
needed
seeing
to
that.
happen.
I don't like seeing that on our field. I understand that kind of stuff has to take place in the locker room. In my opinion, I understand that it needed to happen, but time and place for everything is my opinion.
I got it.
I'll
give you that.
There's some issues. There's internal issues that we're going to talk about with Wisniewski not playing. Ajayi talking about, he should have been handed the ball off more, which I don't disagree with.
Well, let's get right into it.
We talked about
Let's
that
get right into
before.
it. Run the ball. Run the ball.
My opinion is run the ball close to 30 times a game. That's that. You have a recipe for success when you do that. This team has a recipe for success when they do that. And we're not. I don't know our totals for the year, but I don't know if we've reached 30 yet.
So you're really good because you follow the game, you coach the game. So I'm going to ask you a question that I don't know the answer to. Would there be any reason why he's not running the ball? Could a reason be that he's not running the ball because he doesn't trust his running backs on the field? And what I mean by that is none of them can pass protect whatsoever. They're terrible, and they're getting Carson killed. So my question is, even though it's a called run, if he audibles at the line and goes to a quick pass or something like that, protection changes, correct?
Yeah.
So could Doug be afraid that he's not calling these design runs because he's afraid that because Carson does like the audible a lot and change the play at the line that he's going to get him even hurt more than he has been already? I'm just trying to find a sensible reason why he's not running the ball as much.
Well, I mean, I never thought of it like that.
And I don't want to sound, but I'm not a coach, and I don't look at the analytics of that, and I'm not really sure.
So, I mean, some basic stuff when you get to the line of scrimmage and there's a run call and you see that there's 8 in a box, or you see that there's one-on-one coverage with a certain player, you might audible to a pass play in that situation. If there's 8 in a box and they're stacking the run, you should audible to a pass play in that situation. But there's some circumstances, like when they go to their big package, they don't care how many men are in the box. They're running the football. How many times last year have you seen us go where they slant the offensive lineman, where they move Lane Johnson or Vitae over to the right or over to the left? They called their big package.
Yeah,
right.
I know exactly.
How many times have we done that this year? And we enforced our will, and we run with LeGarrette Blount in the game last year when we did that.
LeGarrette Blount.
We don't have that type of attitude this year.
No.
We don't have, we're going to hand the ball off and our will is going to take its way. And
maybe we just don't have that kind of back.
Bingo.
Right?
We do not. We don't have a back that says we're going to smash you in the mouth.
I mean, I still think, listen, and I made that big statement before the year, and I'm sticking with it. I still think Corey Clement could be the guy. He just can't stay healthy this year, and we have so many other issues that I don't think he's ever going to be the chance to be that guy. But we don't have that guy. Smallwood's not that guy. Listen, God bless him. He did. He played better than I thought. He could have ever played. Made a fantastic catch. Made some really, really gritty runs. But then what happens is he basically subtracts all those good plays when he completely misses that rusher and Carson gets killed.
Yep.
So and they're not going to trust Adams, which brings us back to obviously Ajayi being tore ACL out for the year. Clement's got a thigh issue. He was dressed, emergency use only. So I don't know what's going on.
And then you have your 35-year-old Darren Sproles.
And
so here's your running backs right now. You just said it. 2 injured players,
yes.
Clement, Sproles, and then you have
Smallwood and Adams.
Right. Adams, another undrafted rookie. And Smallwood, you mentioned, and Smallwood has played okay for us, but Smallwood he's probably the 4th or 5th string on every NFL team.
Yeah,
Easily.
You know what? But what also happens is same thing with Clement. Whoever has that complementary role always plays well until they start getting fed the ball. Because you look at how Corey Clement did, in the complementary role. And I'm saying he's had a game or two where he had the reins over the past, over even in last season.
Absolutely.
He never really took advantage of that. Then you see the same thing now with Smallwood. It's the same type of thing. I don't know. I think it's about how it's used when they're in the complementary role, getting unexpected third down plays, whatever it may be. But they do not commit to the run. We don't even know if they have a guy that could actually handle the job. I think Ajayi could have handled the job. Now, obviously, broken back and now torn ACL.
Broke back or broken back?
No, broken back.
Here we go again, John.
But the point is, I don't know. There hasn't been huge holes for these backs anyway. They haven't had running room. And at some point, and Coach Dave, I agree with you that you see them stacked in a box, first down, whatever, you call it audible. But at some point, you still have to come out and say, look, if I get 2 yards, cut it down to 3rd and 6, you're still keeping them on their toes. You know what I mean? And you're keeping your defense off of the field. And, I do agree, and the Steelers do it too much too, where you try to get too cute. You're early in the game. Oh, you take a shot on first down on opening drive. Okay, that fails. Then you get stuffed on a run. All of a sudden, you got 3rd and 10. Boom, you're punting the ball first. So there's so much involved in terms of play calling and how risky and aggressive you want to be, but you still got to get to the run. And I don't feel that giving 3 guys 7 to 8 carries a game is going to get the job done. Unless some guy is getting at least 15 carries, I don't see anything in the running game changing. That's my opinion.
I agree 100%.
So let's stick with this running game. And I know we kind of just fast forwarded it. We'll break down the game in a minute. But, I mean, well, hold on. Before we let's just, let's just break down the game real fast. And, I think it's going to be pretty simple. I don't think Kirk Cousins, set the world on fire, okay? But it went exactly the way we thought about, where nobody could cover Diggs, nobody could cover Thielen, right? But the thing that was demoralizing to me is Latavius Murray was actually running the ball well against us. So the one facet of the game that we actually had coming into this was we could rush the quarterback and we could stop the run. And we really had a problem doing both of them. And I'll tell you what, I have to get, again, I kill a lot of people. I do. And, and I have to be stand-up guy and admit, when I see things. And I'll tell you what, Kirk Cousins to me, I've always called him soft. I still think he's soft. But I'll tell you what, in that game, he played hard. Yeah. He got hit hard.
Yes,
and he knew he was getting hit. And he was spot on with his passes. So, I think he was 30 for 37. 30 for 37.
Kirk Cousins can play.
No, he can, but he just doesn't, to me, he's never that guy who's going to be willing to take the shot. He took a lot of shots in that game.
So Kirk Cousins is a Michigan State kid, right? That's Big Ten. That's Big Ten football. And Kirk, people say what they want about him. I watched him there. I watched him as a backup. He didn't come in as a starter, obviously, right? You know what happened to him in Washington, right?
Refresh my memory.
RG3?
RG3.
Yeah.
That was a Shanahan.
Yeah.
Shanahan killed RG3.
So, and there was the birth of Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
And Sean McVay was his coach.
You're absolutely right.
And Jay Gruden, obviously still there.
Jay Gruden.
And all under the tree of one John Gruden. They all coached together. John Gruden had them with them.
That's right.
And so Kirk Cousins knows the game. He's a tough guy. He doesn't look like it because he's a quarterback and everybody thinks quarterbacks are sissies. But he's a tough guy, and he made the plays. Everything you said, and his record against the Eagles is phenomenal. I forget he might have one loss. He might be 4, 5, 6-1 or something like that against the Eagles. But Eagles have a lot of question marks.
Oh, huge.
Jalen Mills has to move to safety. Sidney Jones needs to play corner. Maddox needs to play nickel. Right? And when are you going to see all that happening? I don't know. Schwartz my point to that is I've been talking about Schwartz for you know how I feel, right?
He's getting fired up about Schwartzy.
He's got to change, man. You have to change. It's not working.
But he did change a little bit. He was blitzing more than he ever did in that Minnesota game. Come on.
Who'd he blitz?
He blitzed. He blitzed more than a few times.
I want him to go back to Jim Johnson's defense
he's not doing that.
And learn it.
He's not doing that.
He's got to learn
it's not going to happen.
He's got to learn from. How about Dawkins in those blitzes? He came off the corners. He came off the edge. He disguised things. This guy, it's not good enough.
I mean, we kind of pre-gamed this a little bit because you mentioned the secondary, and we talked about it. I mean, Sidney Jones, is he playing out of position or can he just not play right now?
So that's part of my reason why you got to move him now. Because if he can't play, you need to draft that spot again in second or third round.
So wait a minute. So when do you say if you draft, if you're telling me he can't play, if you find out that he can't play, then that's a bad draft. Right?
That's an understatement.
That's a bad draft.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to throw a couple names out there, right? Alvin Kamara, Kareem Hunt, right? So, guys you passed on because you said, and listen, I'm going to call it the way it is. I'm not, listen, people, please don't get this twisted. Just because I say things doesn't mean that I hope they happen. But what I'm saying is, because listen, people forget that. Just because I say, he's a hater. No, listen, if Sidney Jones can play, I hope he can. That's great.
Yeah, we want him to.
Absolutely. But what I'm saying is, I said at that draft, I said it when they picked him, I didn't like it. Not because it was Sidney Jones, because when you're a team who's in the position that they are, you need young guys to be able to play right away for low rookie contracts in order to remain competitive, just like New England. And they took this guy with an Achilles injury, knew he wasn't going to play for a year, and you still don't even know as a corner if he's ever going to be the same. And I'm telling you right now, he got hurt in that game, and it was his Achilles. And that's what they were rubbing.
Minnesota.
Okay, in Minnesota last week.
Yeah.
And I'm not, all I'm saying is this is something that may always linger for this kid, okay? And you pass on the opportunity to take a couple running backs that probably could have helped you right now, and now look where we're at. We had a guy with a broken back and 2 bum knees that now tore his ACL, which I liked him, but he can't play. A 35-year-old veteran that can't stay healthy, that can't play. Corey Clement, an undrafted guy who I think could be phenomenal, but he can't stay healthy right now. And Wendell Smallwood, and let's not forget about Donnell Pumphrey, who they drafted in that draft because they loved, right? 4th round, and where's he at right now?
He's
driving Ubers.
I think either that or
So
bagging groceries.
This could be a really bad draft if you look at that part. Only because now you're trying to collectively rebuild with a running back, and you're going to give picks away to get this kind of back, which brings us to the discussion. Okay, I think me and Coach Dave are on the same page. I don't know about Coach John. We're going to hear from him. I'm all in on Lev Bell. Okay, we've been talking about that enough. I don't need to be a dead horse. He changes the dynamic of the game, or of the team, I should say. He covers up a lot of deficiencies that you have on the line. He can pass protect like crazy, and he is a stud. Okay, we already know that. Then there's this obscene rumor that came out about David Johnson, which I don't know where that came from. I think right now the Eagles are going to be linked to any running back right now. But, and it got linked, Derek Gunn reported it, who's a great, credible reporter. Loved the guy, followed him for the last 15 years. But why would Arizona want to trade a 26-year-old or a 25-year-old running back when they have a 22-year-old quarterback who they're going to grow with? That makes no sense to me. And then comes the name, Shady McCoy. Okay,
It's a shady statement.
Yeah, I don't want Shady McCoy. I don't want him. I think at this age, at 30 years old, I think the amount of baggage. I heard people calling all day. They called in the last 3 days. Okay, talking about I don't care what he does off the field. Guess what? I do, because he's going to bring all that baggage into that locker room, okay? And at 30 years old, I don't care how talented he is, he doesn't have enough left for me to be able to deal with that baggage, okay? And I'm not willing to part with an absurd price of a 2nd and 3rd round pick for Shady McCoy. No.
That's ridiculous.
No, it's absolutely ridiculous. So, move on. Bye, Felicia. Okay? Shady can go. I mean, do you agree?
Yeah, I don't want him.
How about you, John?
You know what?
Like, I got James Conner.
No. It's. I mean, if he's not an impact player, but he may be an upgrade over Clement and Smallwood. If you have a shot of turning around this 2-3 team and getting an injection, I mean, this is kind of like you guys got burnt, and I don't want to say burnt, but you had that close ties with him being, in the Philadelphia spotlight and media, and knowing the kind of guy he is, and seeing all these things and the way things were left, and all the Twitter and all the nonsense that goes with departing the team. So, and you guys have, there's a history. There's a history there.
Oh, absolutely.
So, well, that was with Chip Kelly, so I don't disagree with how he did that.
I understood that was the history for McCoy, but I'm saying the fans all have a history too as to how they feel about McCoy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I think he's an upgrade over Clement or Smallwood, but
oh, no doubt.
He's not the answer that's going to take you to the promised land unless this big unless this is the big acquisition and he comes hungry for a title.
It better not be.
Well, I mean that's the way I look at it.
So that goes back to like being sold a bag of goods. As a fan, that's what that tells me. You have to tell me right now that you have an opportunity to get Le'Veon Bell. You have to tell me as an ownership and as a franchise that you have talks with this team to get this kid at this point. Because if you don't, that tells me personally as a fan that you're truly not interested in defending a title. Because like Tony talked about, your running back situation right now is abysmal. It is really bad. And you didn't even talk about the other undrafted free agent that got a pitch play in the game. They ran a 240-pound kid. They tossed him the ball instead of handing the ball off and running between the tackles. That was his play, and then he didn't see the field the rest of the game. So you're going to tell me that the 35-year-old, the other undrafted kid who's hurt right now, Smallwood, who looks like he should go back to West Virginia, and then you got, and then what's the kid from Notre Dame?
Josh
Adams, another local kid. I'm okay. You know what? If they start Josh Adams and handing the ball off 30 times, I'd be happy with that. Be honest with you, because
I didn't think he looked that good. I'm
not saying he did.
They got to commit to somebody. I don't care. That's not going to happen. Plain and simple. We've seen it for 2 years now. It's not going to happen. You're not going to get a 15 to 20 carry back. That's not the way it's going to be played.
Well, we'll see. All I know is
what you had last year with LeGarrette Blount. It's exactly what you had.
15 to 20 carry back.
He had 10 to 15 carries last year.
Well, 10 ain't enough. And it can't be that and then give this guy 8 and give this guy 6. Nobody's ready. Nobody knows when they're going in. There's no rhythm involved in that. I feel like running games are on rhythm so much.
So this year so far and this season has just not felt right? And I mean, even in the preseason, and everybody says, it's just preseason, right? It's just preseason. We'll get over it. And then it kind of lingered, and then everybody said, hey, you know what? It's only first game, right? Now, I made a statement. And I said that at the time, and Coach Dave was in agreement. I think even Mr. Coker over here was in agreement that we should have traded Nick Foles for a second-round pick, right? So under preface me by saying that we understood that Carson was not going to be ready, and we even said that if he missed 4 games, if we went 2-2, we'd be okay. I'm okay going 2-2 without Carson, and he comes back, and we're good. The problem is he came back in week 3. Okay, we still went up 2-2 after 4 games, but with the way they looked at 2-2 is not the way I would have envisioned. So my question is, where is it breaking down? Where is it coming from? And this is going to be a twofold statement here. I wrote an article yesterday. Actually, not yesterday, on Monday. For PhillyInfluencer.com, okay, and I write a segment every week or every bye week called Jigsaw's Judgment, and it was, when do we start looking at Doug? And I got brutalized within 1 minute. I was told to shut the F up. I was called a complete scumbag writer. I was called every name. It was comical. Okay, and now I know these people out there, if you're listening, you didn't even read the article. And it actually was a softer side of Jigsaw. People were actually surprised that I wrote it because I was basically saying, relax. Okay, I was saying that, listen, I think Doug misses DeFilippo. I think Doug misses Reich. I think he misses DeFilippo's fire. And I said something in that article that a lot of people were mad at. But I'm going to say it again. Go back and watch the Super Bowl. And watch when Nick Foles says, hey, you want Philly? Okay. And Doug looks, yeah. Let's try it. And then he stops. I swear it looks like he's ready to grab him back because he's thinking about it again. But then Nick was gone. So, and I'm not saying he wouldn't have called it. What I'm saying is that's the kind of indecisiveness that Doug Pederson has. And he doesn't have DiFilippo in his ear. He doesn't have Frank Reich in his ear saying, yo, Doug, just do it. Or, hey, Doug, maybe you don't want to challenge that throw to Diggs where he took 3 steps and we don't know what you're looking at. Okay? Listen, he's missing that. And I think this Doug that we see is the Doug we were afraid we were going to get in 2017. Coaching is a big part of the piece of success, and it's something I think that's missing this year. And I'm not saying it'll never get better, but what I'm saying is I preface this all by saying at the end of the day, the NFC East stinks. The Cowboys blow. The Redskins blow. The Giants blow. Okay? And we're just average, but we have Carson Wentz. So it's okay. I mean, this guy's still getting over a major injury. So we're going to be okay. We really are. But all I'm saying is, why am I not allowed to critique the coach? People told me he gets a pass. Why?
He doesn't get a pass.
He can't get a pass.
No
This
way.
is the NFL, people. Wake up.
I'll tell you where I agree with you, that you have to look at Doug. You go back to their practices. How many times did you hear that they got off? They had days off.
Yep.
You didn't hit in practice this year because you had a lot of injuries.
And why? Because they were doing book tours. And they were kissing babies and signing autographs, right? I mean, let's be honest.
That is part of the, what are these, air quotes, hangover, Super Bowl hangover.
You do have to realize, though, the season did go on until February.
Fully
4th.
understand.
So,
yes, I do get that.
That does play a role, like especially when you're talking off-season surgeries and bringing guys back slow. But it all adds up. It's the reps, it's the mini camps, it's the missed things, the lack of practice. Trying to stay healthy, you start babying yourself too much. You know what I mean? And you don't have that hunger and that drive and that mentality. I mean, granted, there's going to be attrition. When you go hard in training camp or you go hard whenever, there's going to be attrition if that's the way you want to do it. But if you go too soft, you're going to show up in game soft. You play how you practice a lot of times.
You know what? You play how you practice. That's great the way you just said that.
I like
and
that.
You're too soft. When you're an offensive tackle and your name is Lane Johnson and you got a rookie, you have a rookie crossing your face to smash your quarterback, that is way too soft. And that's a cardinal sin for any offensive tackle never to get beat inside. And he got beat multiple times inside to crush our quarterback. That's soft. And we know Lane Johnson, he's not soft. But those plays, very soft.
He's getting beat a lot.
And that goes back to coaching. That goes back to the coach and coaching. So, yeah, this is on Doug.
It's got to be on Doug.
But here's the deal. All those other variables, and I've been saying it for weeks now, your schedule is a lot different than last year's schedule. Your personnel is different than last year's personnel. You had playmakers, and at every level, you had playmakers at tight end, running back, wide receiver, and quarterback, right? And your offensive line was gelling and playing well. And I go back to your schedule was a favorable one.
And I go back to the schedule.
And I go back to the schedule again.
So
then there's the schedule.
So it's a big deal. It is a big deal. And so you have multiple variables involved in why they're 2-3.
Yes.
Two of the 3 losses were within what? How many points?
Oh, they were close.
Right?
You're absolutely right. There's so many things going on. You don't know. I mean, it's a collective thing. You know what I mean? When you're not great at when you're not committing to the run, okay? When you're getting bad calls, maybe it's bad play calling, too much passing on first down, not committing to the run. Okay, then you have an interception that turns over to this. You get a bad call here. You get a guy go out injury. Things snowball, man, especially when you're riding that high wave and it starts coming crashing down, and something needs to happen to flip that switch back, or it's a hangover year. I mean, unfortunately, Steelers came off a Super Bowl. They went 8-8 and missed the playoffs, and it was the same thing. It was just like nothing worked. It didn't matter what you did, and I don't want to get far off of the Eagles, but the impact of these calls on NFL games is.
Are you talking about the Bennett play?
Yes, that would be one of them. I mean, look, that just 50 million different plays that happen that impact the outcome of these games. Sustained drives that end in a touchdown. Turnovers that don't happen. Overtimes that could be forced.
Your boy went off.
Game-winning field goals that are now being kicked. The amount of penalties and what they're being called for is just completely out of hand.
I know your boy Tomlin went off at that.
Yeah, he did.
So, John...
And I didn't want to get into that whole
battle. I have no problem with that.
No, I mean, we could get into it, but I wanted to close off the Eagles. It was just that was a big part of it. That call was a big part of it, but that's what I'm saying.
It still don't come down to that call.
No, right.
But you're right, though. I get it.
You leave the game in hands close enough. You don't hit the gas pedal. This thing happens. The movie The Replacements with what's his face. It's like
Keanu Reeves.
Like quicksand. One thing goes wrong.
So do you
one
think?
Thing goes wrong.
So do you think that play though, if that's Derek Barnett and not Michael Bennett, they not throw that flag?
No, no.
I'm serious.
No,
I think I don't know, man. I think I'm right.
I'll tell you what. I think that flag.
10%ers.
That's called
profiling. 10%ers. That is profiling.
That flag was being thrown either way, no matter who the guy was, and I don't know. I mean, I was reading up on it and I watched it. I didn't critique it to the nth degree, but from what I was reading and hits below the knees, was he falling? Was he pushed? I mean, this is a judgment call, but when he was around the legs, then he tried to yank him down with some force, which is what you have to do in the NFL this day when you got 6'5", 260-pound quarterbacks sitting back there. How can you not try to knock him down? Because what are they going to do? They're going to stand there and they're going to launch a throw left-handed like Patrick Mahomes. You know what I mean? They're going to be in the grass completing third passes.
Or you're going to get pancaked like, I don't know if you guys see Cam Newton, who he just destroyed somebody. I mean, it was wow.
Yes.
Destroyed.
But the point is, it's the rule. Look, I don't know. With the way the rule is stated, it looks like to me, at one glance, it is a flag. Do I agree with it? No. Did they call it the way that it's supposed to be? From my interpretation, what I'm hearing, yes. I don't know. I don't like it or agree with it.
The flags are ridiculous. And
they are.
That play was ridiculous. But
yeah,
to rewind something that you said about the Steelers were 8-8 that year and they needed a spark. Here's what's upsetting, not upsetting, but it could be upsetting to me, is because the Eagles have potential and opportunity to get that spark. And if they don't go get Le'Veon Bell, then they did this whole city a disservice of doing whatever it takes to get that man. He's a 3-down back. He's 27 years old. I don't care if you give him the keys to Jeffrey Lurie's house right now. Give him whatever it takes because he adds that spark, and you're a contender immediately when he shows up in our colors.
Immediately.
Absolutely.
Honestly. Yeah. Immediately.
Yep. And guess what else he does? He keeps your quarterback healthy.
Yes.
He keeps your quarterback healthy. You hand the ball off 25 to 30 times a game because you're giving it to the playmaker, and then your passing game happens. We didn't invent this game, right? It's pretty simple game.
And let's be honest. I don't know if anybody's watched these Eagles games, but our wide receivers are showing no separation. Zero. I mean, they're not getting open, man. Just not getting open. Zach Ertz is going to break records, fall down Zach. He's going to break records because he's in the soft spot every time. I mean, he's the only guy that's open. Listen, it's a short week too, man. They need to have a short memory. Tomorrow we go in against the Giants. And the Giants, how about Pat Shurmur out there, man? He thought he was going to go in there and have no drama. And I don't know if you know what I mean. And now
as long as Manning's back there at his age,
but not that.
That's drama too.
What was the oddest thing? You got Lil Wayne, with Odell Beckham on ESPN, where Beckham talking about Eli. Like I thought it was the strangest thing. Did you see it when he was talking about his own? Odell said, it'd be nice to have somebody to throw over the top where I don't have to catch the ball 5 yards and run 60. Like, so it was a little pop at Manning. I get it, but you know what? What people need to I hear a lot of people go, you know what? No big deal, no big deal, no big deal. We got them. Listen to me. The Giants, I know they're 1-4, but if we all recall and turn back the clock a little bit, last year, without Odell Beckham Jr., they made our defense look like Swiss cheese.
They scored 20. They averaged 25 points a game against us.
They killed us last year.
Without, like you said.
Without
what
OBJ.
you're going to see is what you and I discussed. 1, 2, 3, throw the ball.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, throw the ball.
Yes.
He's going to. Saquon might get 10 to 12 handoffs, maybe. He's going to be a big part of the game. Saquon is, but Eli is going to shred us.
I know. I'm scared.
The only way we win is if we score more than them, obviously, but it's going to be a high-scoring game. That's the only way we win this game, in my opinion.
And Shermer may be coaching for his job. They're 1-4. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not saying, but
well, I mean, what do we think they were? What did what did New York think they were getting?
What Shermer?
Yeah,
I wasn't
and
a
their
Shermer
team,
guy.
and their team.
Yeah, but
I thought
think
the Giants were going to be second place
so
in the
did I.
division.
That's what I'm saying.
Their offensive line still is awful.
They just cut Flowers, by the way.
Well, they moved him to right tackle. You can't. The kid can't play. I was hoping he was going to line up this week for him.
Well, we probably still wouldn't have got a sack.
Oh, stop it. Well, you know what? Because Eli's going to get rid of the ball.
But and that's what I mean. I mean, listen, this is not going to be an easy task, okay? And then we're talking, we get done with them, and we got to play Carolina, we got to play New Orleans. I mean,
no, don't we go to when we go to London for Jacksonville?
Yeah, Jacksonville. Now, I'm just saying, in my mind, I'm just thinking, I'm not trying to overlook
the
that.
schedule.
I'm just talking about these teams that we have to play.
Yeah, and I'm not crying about the schedule, but you want to be the beast.
Yes.
That's what you get.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. But we'll see what can happen. Listen, this week's still young. I don't think, because of the early game, there probably won't be a move made today. If there's any move made, I think it'll be after Thursday.
Oh, for the Thursday there.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm just saying. I don't think. I think it'll take away from that. So it'll maybe like a Friday move or a Saturday move.
I think if they were smart, they sign Lev on Wednesday.
Well, listen,
before the game because
you're going to sign him today. They're going to sign him today.
Yeah, well, they should because. Here's what I'm thinking.
They did restructure that Cox deal.
Yes, and that's all part of something's coming. But my opinion is, guess what? You lose that Giants game, fans are going to be irate.
Oh, yeah.
So here's the deal. If you sign Bell before the game and it so happens that you lose the game, people are still going to be on board because you're like, we just got Lev Bell. But whatever. I think that it's too late. They should have done it. They should have signed, my opinion, Des Bryant and Le'Veon Bell 2 weeks ago.
No, we were
all
about
get
Des
DeMarco
Bryant.
Murray out of retirement, man.
Oh,
there you
on.
go.
I would take Murray. I would take DeMarco Murray.
You're out of your mind. Now you're talking.
He's a bell cow. You can hand the ball off.
You need to go listen to some Blessed Union of Souls or something right now.
Nah.
Cotton Eye
The
Joe.
Redneck soundtrack.
The Rednecks.
Cotton
Well,
Eye
listen.
Joe.
All we can hope is a quick turnaround. It seems like this is going to be a week-to-week thing with the Eagles. We're going to be talking about the same thing probably for the rest of the year. Hopefully something breaks and they make a deal, and we'll see what they do tomorrow night. But let's just hope for the best. That's all I can say right now. My biggest thing is let's hope for the best. Let's hope this thing gets kicked into the next gear. It's not like we've been getting blown out by any means, and I just want to see Carson remain healthy because I'll tell you what, I'm cringing when he takes some of those hits, man. He's not supposed to take it. These hits. It's a shame. They got to be embarrassed for that, just like Coach Dave said. But one thing I want to talk about, something that happened over the weekend, a couple things, and we'll stay on the football talk because, listen, football's hot right now. Okay, it's hot, and I get we got Major League Baseball playoffs, and you got
Not
the Red
in
Sox.
Pennsylvania, we don't.
Oh well, I'm just exactly. I mean, but you got the
bottom
Red
line
Sox
is we
and the
don't
Yankees.
Pennsylvania, or else that would be.
They got a hell of a series going. We got Flyers are back. We got Sixers are playing in Shanghai at 5 a.m. And Markelle Fultz hit jump shots. And everybody's jumping up and down. So you know what I mean. So we'll get to that another day. Let's stick to some football stuff. I want to talk about Drew Brees. Now I want to talk about Drew Brees because he becomes the all-time pass leader in NFL history, which I think. Do I dare say he's underrated? Because he's a guy, in my opinion, that's never talked about. He's a guy who was told in San Diego that he would never play with his shoulder injury. They only gave him a 25% chance of ever playing again. And look at that team. They had him. Well, remember they drafted Eli. Eli said he wouldn't play for them, so they had to trade him. Then San Diego has Phillip Rivers, and they got Drew Brees on the bench. So they trade him right to New Orleans. So and everything with Sean Payton, the rest is history. I mean, it was a storybook year when they won the Super Bowl. With the Hurricane Katrina and all the stuff that happened over there. But I mean, this guy's for real. 74,000. I don't know the actual number, and climbing. This guy's still going to play another couple years at a high level. So my question is, over the last 15 years, we look at maybe the top three backs, but instead of saying that, because we all know where Brady is, okay, let's just for the sake of argument, let's make this a Brees versus Manning argument and say, what guy gets held to a higher stature? And I understand that Manning has 2 rings, one of which I think was, with Denver, because obviously the defense won. I think he threw for 135 yards that game. I'm not trying to take away from the guys, his background and his prestige and how great he was for the game. But if I look at it right now, I'm really thinking I'm putting Brees ahead of Manning. I don't know. What do you guys feel?
Would you like to start, Coach Dave? What do you think?
I'm a Brees guy. I think Manning is great. He was phenomenal quarterback. You get to the line of scrimmage and Omaha. Everybody remember that with Denver, right? And Manning had some awesome weapons, right? You start in Indianapolis when he had Marvin Harrison, who was a Golden Coder, right? He's a Hall of Famer. Reggie Wayne, Edgerrin James. He had some nice tight ends there with him. Tell me some of Brees' wide receivers that he had.
Marcus Colston,
right?
Brandon Cooks.
Colston was out of Hofstra, right? So
that doesn't count.
No, it doesn't count.
He was a 7th-round pick too. I think
it doesn't count compared to Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne.
How about Jimmy Graham in his heyday, bro? Jimmy Graham was a stud. How about
Jimmy Graham didn't come close to the yardage that either of these guys had. Jimmy Graham.
I understand that because he's a tight end.
Touchdown passes,
right?
But
he's a tight end.
He did not have the weapons. Drew Brees did not have the weapons that Peyton Manning had. Can we agree with that or disagree?
No, he didn't have Marvin Harrison. Yeah, I
agreed.
So
I'll give you that.
All right, thank you for giving that to me, by the way. But Brees. Brees to
Dave, they can't digest your sarcasm through the radio.
Yeah, man, we can't be one with the mic, Coach Dave.
Okay,
one with the mic.
Well, Brees, to me,
have it hit your nose.
I think he's a lot more fun to watch than Manning, in my opinion. I think Brees is the better quarterback. His numbers, he wins another Super Bowl. You have more than a legitimate argument. He's top 5 at least. All time.
Again, and I don't have time to look this up, but I swear he had another receiver other than Marquez Colston, like a stud. Who am I missing, man?
Dante Stallworth.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, Dante was
Henderson.
Devery Henderson.
The kid he has now is going to be one.
Well, Michael Thomas.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think Michael Thomas has great potential.
I'm thinking of guys, Deuce McAllister. I know he's a running back, but I'm thinking of guys he had back in the day. Who was the receivers for the Super Bowl that year? Besides Colston, Who? I mean,
Colston was there. He was putting up stats for a solid 5 years.
yeah, I thought they had somebody else.
Yeah, he was putting the stats up because of Drew Brees. A lot like Tom Brady and his ability to use what he has and win games. How many points did he put up against the Washington Redskins the other night? 41. They one-on-one covered Michael Thomas with who? Newman, the D-back.
Yeah, or Josh Norman.
Josh Norman,
yeah.
excuse me, Josh Norman.
Norman.
And the other guys worked well for Drew Brees. Drew Brees is, it's just an opinion. I like Drew Brees better than Peyton Manning. He's an undersized guy. He made a ton of things happen. He's a great leader. He's a great locker room guy, a great community guy. The stuff he's done for New Orleans, I just like him better.
Joe Horn.
Joe Horn. Oh,
Did
yeah.
Joe Horn play with Drew Brees?
I don't know.
You're calling
But
him a stud?
Hey, he was a stud at that.
I think that was pre-Brees.
Was it pre-Brees?
He was a stud. But I got little tidbits for you. Number 1 Saints receiver with Brees, Colston.
Yeah, I got to
706 for
this. But this list is sad. Go ahead,
yeah,
John.
that's right. So we got that. Then number 2, Jimmy Graham. We
Yep.
spoke. So we had Colston, Jimmy Graham, Lance Moore, number 3.
Moore.
Lance Moore.
You're
Jeffrey Henderson. You thought I was playing when I said I did not see that he was number 4 when I said
Wow.
So
Every-
you're making my argument stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
by
wait,
each
hold on.
name. By
Hold
each
on.
name.
Nick Toon. Don't forget Nick Toon.
Nick Toon.
Nick Toon.
I
Is that
forgot he
Al
was
Toon's son?
even.
Kenny Stills. Courtney Roby.
Ted Ginn Jr.
Well,
he had.
Did you see that number 20? Alvin Kamara is already number 20.
Ben Watson.
I don't know when this was as of.
Tell you that, I mean, this is bad. This is bad.
So
Really bad.
Well,
You
here,
strengthened
let
my
me say
point.
this. Look, your original question was, where does Drew Brees
Yeah.
rank, or is he top 3 or whatever? When I look at Drew Brees and I see a guy, I mean, he's better than Kirk Cousins. I'm not putting him in the same category as Kirk Cousins, but as a quarterback, and a lot of times my perspective is more from a fantasy perspective, but I do take some of the pure football logistics into
Nah,
it.
there's nothing wrong with that.
So,
We're going to go right into fantasy when you're done anyway.
I feel like Breeze. Look, you look at that. The team he played for led the league in passing attempts year after year after year after year.
Sean
I
Payton.
understand the yards, and I'm not taking anything away from Breeze. I think he was a great quarterback, and if you didn't say the top 3 in the past 15 years or whatever, he's definitely top 5. I mean, he might be number 4. But in terms of I guess my caliber of what I'm looking for in the top 3 quarterbacks is how they manage the game and their game calling, their confidence, their vision of the defense and everything, the ability to call audibles. And yes, Coach Dave said your personnel around you definitely makes a difference.
Yeah,
There's
no
no
doubt.
question around that.
No doubt.
But to me, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Brett Favre.
Wow.
Those are my 3.
Breeze
I'm
ain't
sorry,
even in there.
because I just feel that they managed the game better and weren't. I mean, I don't want to say Breeze just chucks it up, but the game plan and the scheme that he's been in has had the most passing attempts or in the top 5. You know what I mean? Every year.
So you at least give Breeze a 4 on that list right there. You throw him a 4.
Yes.
Throw him
yes.
a bone. Give him
Yeah.
4. I will.
Yeah.
Definitely
Definitely top 5.
I can see that. I
definitely
mean,
top 5.
Brett Favre. You got to throw. Yeah. I mean, everybody forgets about Favre, but you got to throw him in there. But right into this because we only got a few minutes left. I thought, which is always crazy, but because we always we're talk all this fantasy shit and we just roll right at the end. It's crazy, but I think that along with Breeze breaking records in that game on Monday night, the other interesting tidbit was Alvin Kamara owners that were jumping off the bridge, and ready to hang themselves because Mark Ingram comes back. And Alvin Kamara doesn't see any time. So, is this something to be concerned about as an owner? I heard a lot of guys. I got a guy in my league. my buddy Frank out there, a little shout out. But he drafted Kamara and Ingram. He kept saying, "Oh, I'm play both of them. Start them every week. Start them on the same team." They were 20 points a week each one last year. But I think that's just a flawed strategy, because what if they just play a bad game? Then you got two guys who did nothing, and you're going to lose. So I think it could be a concern. But one thing I want to say, we got 5 minutes left, and what I did was I took the top 5 right now, and we're going to go through this: top 5 quarterbacks, top 5 running backs, top 5 wide receivers. This is for fantasy football, not NFL. Okay? Again, for all you people that don't read my articles and jump on the taglines, listen to me. This is for fantasy football only. Okay? What I'm going to do is going to read these names. We're going to go quarterbacks. Tell me, for real, you think he's going to continue on this pace, or you think he's going to come back? So let's call this, I hate to be cliche because a lot of people do fantasy reality, lie or truth, you know what I mean? But
Fire 5, man.
What's that?
The Fire 5.
Yeah, but I want to. Is it believable or unbelievable? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So top 5, number 1 in quarterbacks is Patrick Mahomes. Number 2 is Drew Brees. Matt Ryan 3, Jared Goff 4, and Old Man Rivers at number 5. You see any? You see that? Let's say Mahomes. You think he can continue on to be the number 1? Is he going to be the number 1 quarterback all year?
He may be, but he's not going to keep the same pace he started with.
Right.
I mean, 80 touchdowns and no interceptions.
Right. I mean, he didn't throw any touchdowns this week.
He will be he will definitely be top 3. He is that good. He is great, but he's not the way he's been playing lights out. He's down to come down.
No, I agree.
He has to.
I agree. Guy lovers on that on that list, Coach.
I'm just concerned with Mahomes because of how Andy Reid goes. So
Yeah.
I mean that his inconsistencies towards the end of the year. You don't think that Mahomes is going to stay that way. First of all, it's his first year as a quarterback, right? So
True.
I don't know if he can maintain that pace. First year as starter, I should say. Old Man Rivers still is he's
Mr. Consistency, man.
He stays. He's going to stay on pace, in my opinion.
I think so.
The question mark to me would be Matt Ryan.
I was just going to say that.
Matt Ryan, because of the team.
Yes, I agree.
Jared Goff just lost Kupp and Cooks to concussion protocols.
Yeah.
And they still won because Gurley went off. Goff is for real.
Yeah, he is.
Goff is for real. And I go back to the coach, right? McVay and Goff combination.
I love McVay.
They're going to light it up.
I'd take McVay out for a couple beers.
Look, I'm turning the corner a little bit on Goff, but I'm still not 100% sold.
Not 100%
still
sold?
Not 100% sold. Ryan, I have no interest in Ryan.
I completely agree with Ryan.
Brees is underrated. Rivers is underrated. Goff, I don't know.
So this brings us to top 5 running backs in points. Kamara, number 1, which I all think we can agree it's going to come down. Gurley, number 2. Gordon, number 3. Barkley, 4. James Conner, 5. And here's a surprising one. At number 7, James White. Amazing. So obviously he gets the PPR points for all the passes that he catches. But if you're asking me, Kamara definitely comes off number 1. I think at the end of the year it's going to be Gurley, Gordon, 1, 2, and probably I say Barkley. I think it's going to be 1, 2, 3 in that order. I think they're all studs. I don't know. What about you?
I agree with you. I mean,
whoa!
I don't know if it's going to be that order, but yeah. Those are the 3 running backs that I look at, even when you're looking at your stats.
Yep.
How many guys have 300 yards rushing and 30 catches? I don't know. One of them has like 27. So
right.
Something like
that.
But there's a big
studs,
gap
man.
between the next guy, and I'm not talking about I forget who it is. That only has like 89 yards rushing. That don't count. I'm saying those 3 are the big ones.
Yeah, they're studs.
The one that I'm surprised not on here is McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Which I would slide in almost as number 4.
Yeah, So, what about you, Dave?
I'm hoping Kamara slides all the way down. I can't stand that kid. I told you I have a problem with him. He's a hell of a talent, but I hope he comes down.
I still predicted outside the top 10 running backs.
John
Yeah.
did say that in the beginning
He
of the year.
did. He did say that.
Gurley's a beast. Gordon might come down. I don't know. I think Barkley is he will be the best running back in football within the next year.
I like that.
The best running back.
I like that. I like that statement.
Connor, you know what? I would love for him to do well with Pittsburgh because I want Lev Bell to see that, you know what, Lev, maybe it was the system that you were in as well that helped you produce all your talent. So I would love to see Connor stay up there and do well and create these fantasy
that.
Well,
points.
put it this way: the $8 million difference surely could help the defense a lot.
Yeah, you got that right. You got that right.
All right, receivers. Quick.
So, yeah, we got to go quick. We got 1 minute left. We got Thielen, number 1. Michael Thomas, 2. Hopkins, 3. Connor Kupp, 4. Devontae Adams, 5.
Cooper.
Cooper. I was Connor because we're saying James Connor. Rig this real fast. I am shocked that Thielen's number 1. I thought it would be, Thomas and Antonio Brown not on that list, which I think is the most intriguing thing. Final thought. Any final thoughts before we go?
Cup doesn't belong there.
Dave?
Thielen is 5 weeks of 100 yards.
First player to ever do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
First wide receiver ever do
Now,
that.
one Division I.
And he did it against the Eagles.
Yeah.
Which really blows.
He wasn't given one Division I look for college.
Not one. You never know, right? You never know. Listen, we're going to close this out. Again, you want to thank everybody for listening in. We'll be back at it again next week, Wednesday, 12 to 1. That's our spot, Wildfire Sports. I'm your host, Tony Cotillo at TCotillo23. As always, for my co-host,
John Coker at PGH John 36.
And
Dave Dixon at Coach Dixon 365.
And again, at The Heat Ratio on Twitter, at The Heat Ratio on Instagram, Heat Ratio on YouTube. Check us out, Facebook page called Fantasy Sports Addiction, brought to you by The Heat Ratio. Get at us at the threads, iTunes, Stitcher, Android, TuneIn. We're all over the place,
Alexa.
man. Alexa, I like that. So join in the fun. As always, have a great week, and we'll see you next Wednesday.